Hi guys, I'm Charlie Book Fanatic. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do my second video in this series. I did a spoiler-free review of A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas yesterday, and today I'm going to do a spoiler-filled discussion video. If you haven't read the second book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, A Court of Mist and Fury, then please leave this video, otherwise you will be spoiled for this book. I'm really sad I don't have the book with me, but I ordered it today, so it should arrive tomorrow, but I want to film this video today, so the struggle, guys, the struggle. I will insert a picture, obviously. So let's start with the most obvious thing. I rated A Court of Mist and Fury 5 stars. It was a much better read than A Court of Thorns and Roses for me. I enjoyed it thoroughly. But let's start with the thing that annoyed me. It wasn't really a writing thing, it was just a thing in the story overall that annoyed me. And that is Tamlin as a character. I really dislike Tamlin. Let's just say I hate him with a burning passion. And I honestly can't even describe why I hated him in the first book. He just isn't my kind of guy. I feel like he's too dominant. He doesn't consider Farah's feelings. He's way too protective. I really don't like protective guys who make a girl feel like she can't do anything for herself, and Tamlin is definitely that kind of guy, and that is the vibe I got from him in the first book, and I don't stand for that. Then he came back in the second book and he was way worse. The protectiveness came through so much more, but that is obviously because Tamlin suffered from PTSD, but it made him insufferable. When he locked up Feyre, I was like, are you being serious? Also, when he married her, or when he was trying to marry her, I was like, you didn't even ask Feyre if she still wants to get married. Maybe you should talk to your fiance about the wedding, you know? Maybe you shouldn't talk to your fucking priestess. I can't even imagine how lonely Feyre must have felt with only a priestess to talk to, and an evil one at that. And when Maurice swooped into the wedding and took Feyre with him, I was like, you go, Reese. You came at the exact right moment. What I thought was a bit weird though was how we didn't see Tamlin for the whole book up until the ending. Like, we got to see Lucien and a group of warriors that Tamlin had to get Feyre back, but it wasn't Tamlin who was looking for Feyre. So I was like, what did Tamlin do during the course of the book? Because I imagine it took place over a couple of months, so I am not sure what Tamlin did in those months, and I would like to know, because at the end of the book, when he had an arrangement with the King of Highburn, I was like, how did this even happen? Like, I'm not even sure how you got into contact with this king. What did you do? Keep hunting? Did you sit in your mansion and rage? Like, that was also, he has anger issues, man. Like, he ruined his house multiple times, his office. He's like clawing the walls and throwing chairs and desks. I mean, I don't want to know how his mansion looked like after Feyre was taken from him, which is why I was glad he wasn't much in the second book, because I hated him. So, can you imagine my feelings when the book ended and Feyre was with Tamlin again? I was like, Feyre, please don't do this. I know it is the only option, but please don't go to him. And he just believed it. Tamlin just believed what Feyre said, and I don't know how this is going to go, but I honestly think Feyre is going to have a miserable existence in Tamlin's house, and I'm really not looking forward to reading about it in the third book. There has to be some reason and this inner court in the third book, because otherwise I imagine I won't be enjoying it much at all, because I don't like Tamlin, and I also don't like Lucien. I don't like them. I don't think they're good characters at all. And oh, the moment when Feyre's sister changed into a high fae, and Lucien was like, oh my god, we are mates. And I was like, excuse me? Please don't do this. Poor Elaine. Like, I don't want Elaine with Lucien. Like, ugh. dislike him so much. Like, both him and Tamlin. I don't know how I could have liked Lucian in the first book. I think that was because I didn't get to know Rhys and all of his friends. But after getting to know them, I'm like, my standards are up here, and you're like, here. But Rhys is literally bae. Like, he has his faults, he obviously has, but he has PTSD as well. He has nightmares. He's been under the mountain for 50 years, and Tamlin has been there for what, a couple weeks, and Rhys handles his PTSD a lot better than Tamlin did. Rhys sees Feyre as her own person, a person with her own, a person who makes her own choices. If she wants to go back to Tamlin, he would have let her go back to Tamlin because that was what she wanted. And Tamlin won't let her go to Rhys because he sees her as an object and his possession. And I don't like that. I loved Rhys. He is dominant, he is cocky, he is a bastard sometimes, and he has a mask for his court. Most people don't get to see him as we got to see him when we went along with Feyre, but after seeing him without that mask, I fell in love with him because he's a genuinely good person who cares for his people. And I just don't get that feeling from Tamlin. I don't get the feeling that he is there for his people. I get the feeling that he is trying to protect Feyre and trying to protect his mansion and the people inside that mansion, but outside of his mansion, the other people in his court, I don't think it really matters to him. Let's talk about the plot for a minute, because I feel like we talked a lot about characters. Like I said in my spoiler-free review, I felt like the plot was lacking. The characters made the book for me in this case, because the whole plot in this book was them chasing after two magical halves of a book to save the world from war. I was not convinced of it. I don't believe in a magical book. Why would a magical book save the world from war? And especially they were looking for a cauldron as well as in the castle of the King of Hybern, and a magical cauldron and a magical book. Also, the moment where there was this witch who was blind and Feyre had to go inside this house and track this ring that Rhys wanted to give to her. A magical witch? Like, we have a witch, we have a magical book, and we have a cauldron. Like, what is this? This is not a very original plot. This could have very well have been a middle grade book, only with sex scenes in it, which makes it new adult. I expected more sex scenes in this book because a lot of people are saying, oh, the sex scene is so hot, oh my god. And I read them, and of course, yeah, they're hot, but it took a long time for a sex scene to take place. And I was like, come on, Rhys, come on, Feyre, kiss already. The sexual tension is driving me crazy here. And eventually they had sex, and then they had sex again, and then again. Yeah, it was sex. I didn't really care much for it. I didn't think it was anything particularly crazy, really. I'm saying all of this, I think like it's more of a 4-star book, but the characters were just incredible. The characters made the book for me. They were all so well developed, I feel like. They all have their own history, their own story, and I'm so excited to find out what history is behind all of these characters. We got to see snippets of their history, but for example, we got to see Morrigan's history with Azriel and Cassian, but I'm not exactly sure how it all took place. We know snippets of it, but I'm still not sure in what kind of timeline it all took place in. But I'm really excited to find out in the next books, and I hope we get to see Morrigan, Azriel, Emran, Cassian, and Rhys in the next book, because if I have to sit through a book with only Tamlin and Lucian, I am going to be crazy. I'm going to get crazy, like honestly, I can't. So this is my discussion of A Court of Mist and Fury. Let me know down below, what did you think of A Court of Mist and Fury? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know of your thoughts down below. I would love to know it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!